There was a season when your name was constantly being mentioned behind closed doors. Every time your phone rang, every time you felt uneasy in your spirit, every time doors suddenly closed in your face without explanation, there were conversations happening that you knew nothing about. Group chats were being formed, private calls were being made, plans were being discussed, strategies were being exchanged. They gathered together for one reason: to monitor and make plans for your downfall. Some people pretended to support you publicly while secretly celebrating your pain privately. They wanted updates about your struggles. They wanted evidence that you were finally breaking. They shared your failures like entertainment. But what they failed to understand is this: when God places his hand on someone, no conspiracy can overturn his purpose. They thought they were watching the end of your story, but they were only witnessing the beginning of God's testimony in your life. Now the same group chats that once overflowed with laughter, gossip, mockery, and wicked plans have become silent, cold, empty, awkward. Because you survived. Not only did you survive, you rose. And the people who once united to destroy you are now confused by the favor, strength, peace, and restoration God placed in your life. They bonded over your suffering. They became united because of a shared hatred towards you. Your name became the topic that held them together. Their conversations revolved around your struggles, your setbacks, your mistakes, and your pain. Every time something went wrong in your life, one of them reported it back to the group chat. They watched your pain like it was entertainment. But what they did not realize was that God was watching too. Psalm 37 verses 12 to 13 says, "The wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them. But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day is coming." While they were plotting, God was already preparing your victory. While they were gathering in secret, God was arranging divine protection around you. While they celebrated too early, heaven already knew the final outcome. And the final outcome was never going to be your destruction. It was always going to be your elevation. When you cried, they felt powerful. When you broke down emotionally, they felt successful. When people walked away from you, they celebrated in their group chats. They thought isolation would destroy you. They thought rejection would weaken you. They thought betrayal would silence you. But what they did not understand is that God often allows isolation before elevation. God allows certain painful seasons, not because he hates his chosen ones, but because he is preparing them for something greater than their enemies can understand. Joseph was betrayed before he was promoted. David was hunted before he became king. Christ himself was mocked before resurrection power was revealed. Your pain was never pointless. Every tear you cried became evidence that you survived battles designed to destroy you. And while they thought your suffering meant God abandoned you, heaven was actually building your testimony. They celebrated too early because they misunderstood the season you were in. They thought the storm was your ending, but the storm was only preparing you for a greater level of strength. They only saw your wounds. God saw your future. People tried things against you that you may never fully know about. Some attacks were physical, some were emotional or spiritual. Some of them smiled in your face while secretly praying for your downfall. Some stalked your progress obsessively. Some spread lies and manipulated others against you. They attempted spiritual attacks, witchcraft, confusion, delays and roadblocks on you. But despite everything they tried, you are still here. That alone is proof of divine protection. You lost things, but you did not lose yourself. You were attacked, but you were never destroyed. You were wounded, but you were not defeated. They tried everything in their playbook. They created confusion. They spread rumors, monitored your struggles, sent negativity your way. But God blocked every arrow that carried the assignment of destruction. What should have broken you became the very thing that built your resilience. What should have ended your purpose actually revealed God's power in your life. When they could not stop your destiny directly, they tried to damage how people see you. They spread lies. They twisted stories. They watched your every move, hoping to find something they could use against you. They were not obsessed with your life because they loved you. They were obsessed because they feared what you would become if you fully stepped into your purpose. So they created narratives. They painted false pictures. They tried to isolate you socially. And for a while, it hurt deeply because you could feel people changing around you without understanding why. But here is what they never expected. God defended your name in rooms you never entered. God exposed lies without you having to fight every battle yourself. And now many of the same people who believed the smear campaign are beginning to realize they misjudged you. Because truth has a way of surviving every attack. Darkness can only hide reality temporarily. Eventually, God brings everything into the light. The same people who once constantly discussed you now have nothing left to say, because every prediction they made about your destruction failed. They thought you would collapse mentally and never recover emotionally. You did. They thought your purpose was finished and their attacks would permanently break your spirit. But instead, you became stronger, wiser, calmer, and more spiritually grounded. Now the conversation have changed. The excitement is gone. The confidence they once had has disappeared. Because failure is difficult to explain when people were so certain they would win against you. Imagine gathering repeatedly to destroy one person, trying every possible strategy, investing emotional energy into someone's downfall, only to watch that person rise higher than before. That silence in those group chats is not accidental. It is the sound of frustrated enemies realizing they underestimated the power of God covering your life. The Bible says in Romans chapter 8 verse 31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Now they are being forced to watch what they tried to stop. One of the most beautiful things about God is that He restores. The enemy took things from you, but God is not limited by what was lost. He can restore years in ways human beings cannot explain. Some people thought your losses meant you were finished, but God was removing people, exposing hidden enemies, strengthening your faith and your spirit, and repositioning your life. Sometimes God allows separation because certain people cannot go where He is taking you. And now look at you. You survived things that once made you cry yourself to sleep, and moments that almost broke your faith. You survived betrayal from people you genuinely cared about. Yet you are still standing. That is not weakness. That is grace. That is divine preservation. And what makes your story powerful is this: you did not become bitter, you became spiritually stronger. The people who gathered against you thought pain would destroy your future. Instead, pain introduced you to a deeper level of God's power. You were never fighting alone. Even during the night when you cried in silence, and the moment when you felt abandoned, even during the seasons when people mocked, isolated, and celebrated your struggles, God was still with you. And now the evidence is undeniable. The group chats have gone quiet because the attacks failed. The plans, the lies, the manipulation and spiritual warfare failed. And now the same people who expected your downfall are witnessing your restoration. Your future is brighter because God protected your destiny when others secretly tried to bury it. They thought your tears will be the end of your story, but God turned those tears into seeds for your elevation. Keep walking in peace, because when God decides to preserve someone, no enemy, gossip, betrayal, weapon, or secret gathering can stop what He has ordained for your life. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.